It's your boy, Vacation Time with Ryan. Wow, senores. Man, I got another story time for you guys, man. Strap in, buckle up, get your popcorn. This is gonna be a long one, but a real one, man. Again, it's your boy, Vacation Time with Ryan, man. I'm bringing you real stories from real trips, real situation. Wow, senores. This the one that I really been waiting to not do, contemplating should I do. I did one on Patreon, a story time about this, but I figured I'd give it to the people, man, because you guys been rocking with me for a while. And some of you heard pieces of my story, but you never heard the complete story. So today I'm gonna give you the complete story of a 4-year relationship I had with a Dominican young lady living in Santo Domingo. I lived there for a year with her, and I was visiting every month after, and we'll get into it. But I just want you to strap in. This ain't no cakewalk story. This is probably gonna be a long one. Pause, all right? So let's just get into it, man. All right, so I'm gonna try to give it to you from the beginning. If I miss parts here and there, obviously it's 4 years. I'm not gonna just remember every intricate detail of 4 years, but I'm gonna shoot off the hip and we're just gonna go as we go, all right? So look, how I met her, all right? This is probably gonna upset some of you guys, but just relax and enjoy the show. It's not like now using dating apps, but we met on a dating app. It's not like now where if you jump on these apps now, a lot of them are pro athletes, pros, and they're playing games and they just want money, XYZ. It's not like that. It wasn't like that back in 2019, all right? So I started swiping in 2019 because my cousin told me about the Dominican Republic. He's like, man, you gotta visit. One thing he told me, and I'm sure you guys heard this, is like, whatever you do, don't fall in love. Enjoy it. They're gonna treat you like a king, and it's gonna be so easy to fall for. Just don't fall in love. I give a cousin to my credit there. Excuse me, I give credit to my cousin on that because he told me not to fall in love. All right, let's go. Round one, ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. Here we go. So boom, I started swiping in 2019. I matched with some cool people. Back then, trust me, it was way different. Like, it was more like you were a gem back then. Now you're no longer a gem. It's so saturated. There's a bunch of dudes all over the world on these apps now. It's normal. Back then, I could match with a joint and she was like, oh, wow, you're from where? Oh, that's cool. Like, it was a different vibe. And I think there was more just regular people looking to find a partner, not even specifically targeting foreigners, just looking to find people in their area. And then you stumble upon them. So I just feel like the odds were more in your favor back then. Anyways, that's another story for another video. So boom, started swiping in 2019. Met this specific person in 2020. I met other chicks from afar before her. But what happened, why I gravitated towards her, silly me at the time, she spoke English. Now, I didn't know, if it was me now, trust me, I wouldn't even have got with her because speaking English to me now, it doesn't necessarily, all right, hold on, there's some music, hold up. All right, excuse me, I had to get away from the music. So back then, I didn't speak Spanish. I speak Spanish now, so I actually enjoy getting to know someone in their language over English now because I have a different opinion now. But anyways, back then, of all the chicks I was talking to, she was the one that spoke English. So I gravitated towards her because we built a strong connection by speaking English to each other. Had it been me now, it wouldn't work because I prefer someone I can get to know them in their language since I do speak it now. Back then I spoke no Spanish, right? All right, boom, let's go. So I met her, first time we talked, we ended up talking all night. Didn't discuss nothing romantic or no flirting, just getting to know each other. It was cool. It was a vibe. I think she was even like on some friend stuff in the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, in the very beginning. But I remember by the second day, because remember what happened in 2020, times were different, all right? It was early. I think before things started getting tricky, it was early. I remember it like it was yesterday, right? The dates at least. So we talking, getting to know each other. Next day, she started sending me like, you know, regular little videos of her TikToks and stuff, just a little fun stuff, listening to music, dancing bachata, you know, all that, just cool stuff. Now, you know, I'm like, oh, wow, you know, you gotta teach me how to dance that. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll teach you, you know. And she's like, you gotta teach me some stuff about your culture, Ray. Cool vibes. Everything was cool. I think by like day 3, I was like, man, like, because the conversations were so deep. And we would talk for like 4 hours at a time, sometimes 8 hours, sometimes 12. Crazy, right? Because at that time, it was something going on where, you know, I had to be at home, all right? We'll get into that. We'll get into all of that, don't worry. But anyways, we talked a lot. So then, you know, I expressed to her like, man, I rock with you. She's like, oh, you know, I like you too, and I like your vibe, and I'm focused on you. That's what she told me. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm focused on you too. All right, bet. So we already expressed we're focused on each other. But we keep talking every day, right? I told her I had a surgery coming up. You know, I just telling her how she feel about it, right? I did my little surgery in my back from a car accident. I was in bed for a little while. She rocked with me the whole time, like talking. So she kind of like, she wasn't there physically, but she was there on the phone, on video, through my recovery from my surgery. So we built a special bond through that. So I'm like, oh man, this is real. Like, you can't fake this. Like, those emotions, we talking all day. She helped me. She, you know, waking me up when it's time to take my pain medications and all that from the surgery, all that stuff. My appointment, she reminded me, like, everything was just cool, right? Vibes, and making sure I'm following what the doctor said after the surgery, all that good stuff, right? All right, bet. So cool. So, you know, the world got a little tricky, got a little wild, and I'm already like spending time at home from the surgery. I had a windfall of money come in. I think I shared you guys the amount already, but if I didn't, it was a 6-figure number. And before I had any money, because remember, I was broke, I wasn't working like I work now. I was just working like a regular human being. Yeah, I worked for a good company, but I only had one job, right? I did a little Uber on the side, but I really only had one job. So my income was trash. So she wasn't getting any money because I didn't have any. I didn't have any excess, you know, extra income. And she didn't care about that, right? So she said, yeah, so let's get into it. So anyways, I ain't had no money. So money came in. It was a lot of money. It's more money than I would make in a year working, in 2 years working, in 3 years working. So going back to work, I was like, man, looking at my bank account, I'm like, you know how long I had to work to make this? And I'm like, I got a chick that I'm falling for. I hate saying that. I'm just being transparent with y'all. This is whatever. Y'all could judge all y'all want. It's my past. I learned a lot from it. But anyways, I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, this ain't the same working here no more, dog. Like, I'm like, yo, I could go to DR, post up with her, and check the vibes with her, right? So I plan to do a 1-week trip in her to check her temperature. I didn't quit my job or nothing like that. I was just gonna go for a week. At the airport, I booked up with JetBlue. I get there. Duke from JetBlue is like, man, we ain't having no flights going to DR. I'm like, I bought the flight, look. And he was like, nah, man. So I called JetBlue. I pushed it back like a month or two think I pushed it back like 2 months, right? 'Cause I figured in 2 months, they're probably gonna start letting people fly, or maybe a month. It was probably a month. So I called my brother, come pick me up back from the airport. She was crying crazy. Now, you guys probably not gonna believe me, but I think there were genuine cries, you know, because she was expecting me. She was all excited. She did up her apartment a certain way, which I didn't see. She had all kind of surprises for me. So she was crying tremendously. Like, she couldn't stop crying. Like, she cried all day. She was held under, like, she was under a rock. She posted on her stories. She was all sad. All right, whatever. Fast forward, we talking every day. We cool. The next time it came around, I told her, I said, look, there's a chance the airport is gonna be on the same thing. So don't be having your hopes up. Let's just chill. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Time came, I get there. Boom. Everything's cool. I get there. She waited for me at the ramp, SDQ Airport. You know the SDQ Airport, when you come down the little ramp, when you come out from the back, and you feel like Triple H walking down the ramp. You're like, you know what I'm saying? You feel like you coming out to do a wrestling match. Like, everybody on the sides waiting for their boo or their family. So it was cool, right? So I get there. My bad, I put the camera in focus. So I get there. You know, we hug it up. She was mad nervous. She was sweating. She was nervous. You know, to me, she looked better in person. Like, she looked really good in person, like, even better. So cool. Oh, mind you, just to throw in a little details of the phone conversations. Like, she wasn't the type to be sending nudes and all of that. She wasn't doing none of that. It took a while. Eventually she did, but it took a very, very long time. Like, she wouldn't send me nothing like that. And I didn't ask. And she's like, I'm uncomfortable with my body, yada, yada, yada. But eventually we got to that point, right? Obviously, right? But anyways, boom, I'm there. All I'm thinking, I'm like, man, they probably about to kidnap me. Oh my goodness, they about to kidnap me. It's my first time in DR. So we get in the car, we're in the back seat. It's vibes, you know, it's vibes. She's still nervous. I'm chilling, because I felt like it was the same vibe as us talking on video. So I wasn't nervous about her. I was more nervous about being in this country, right? But I got two vibes my first time in the Dominican Republic. I got Jamaica. People actually thought I was in Jamaica. Like, when I posted little videos, there was, you know, my Jamaican people was like, man, you didn't tell me you was here. I'm like, I'm not. I'm in DR. I was like, all right, bet. Then I also got Miami. So I got Miami and I got Jamaica. You know, there's certain parts of the island reminds me of Jamaica. You know, it's rough in Jamaica, right? Then there's certain parts that reminded me of Miami. So, cool. Rented a car. I first got there, and the first thing I noticed, it was extremely hot. It was very hot. Even when I'm in Jamaica, like, I have a place with air conditioning, right? She didn't have an AC. I was sweating like there's no tomorrow. Like, I was like, man, I didn't even think I could experience this type of heat. The fan was not a thing of help for me. Like, I was just sweating. Like, I said, yo, I gotta take a shower. You know, where your shower at? Took a shower, no hot water. So it's like, it's cool because it was hot enough. So I took a cold shower, or a semi-cold shower, whatever you want to call it. So I got out the shower. Within 5 minutes of sweating again, I was just like, I gotta get used to this. I ain't gonna hold you. So I had an Airbnb booked for the next day. Cause we're like, all right, there's not a lot of things to do, because remember what happened in 2020? It was during that time. 80% of things were closed. So there were still Airbnbs. Airbnbs were still open. Resorts weren't quite open yet, but they did eventually open them. Some restaurants were open, but not all. So I get there. I was like, all right, we're gonna thug it out tonight. But I was like, I can't wait to get to the Airbnb tomorrow. All right, so we was at her place. Oh, another thing, just to add little details here and there. On her wall, she had like a picture frame that she printed out and designed, because she would ask me questions here and there throughout the relationship. So she had like my favorite car on the picture. She had my initials there. And what's something else that I like? Some things that she picked up on me while getting to know me. So I was like, wow. She's like, yeah, this is your place, it's yours. You know, I had my name on the wall, all kind of stuff, right? I was like, wow, this is a lot. But I guess she wanted me to feel at home, right? And she had the balloon with the fruit platter, like when I walked in, welcome to DR, Ryan, like the whole nine, whatever. Cool. So, boom. So we do our thing, cool, the vibes was there. You know, we got comfortable relatively fast. So the next day now, we go to pick up, I rented a car, we go to pick up the rental. She was supposed to drive, that was the plan. Cause I'm like, driving in DR, I don't know DR, right? So I was already, I know when I go to Jamaica, I don't ever drive. I don't even think about driving. Cause you know, they drive on the other side, yada, yada, yada. When she got in the car, I noticed like she was scared. She was like, can you just drive? I'll tell you where to go. I'm like, you sure I could drive? Like, she's like, yeah, you drive. And I think even the rental guy was saying like, you know, I got to drive since it's my license. So when I started driving, I was like, oh, it's like driving in Miami. You know, Miami, they drive a little bit more wild than in my city. So, cool, I ended up driving the whole time, and that's why every time I go to DR now, I drive. From my very first moment in DR, I had to drive because she was scared. I didn't know that she wasn't like an experienced driver. So I was forced to drive, and I got used to it from it was one of the first things I got used to in DR. Boom, we get to the Airbnb, fire. I'm living here in South Florida. So we in a high rise, looking down, I can't even see the ground, like nice, beautiful Airbnb, roof, pool, jacuzzi, whatever at the top. I'm like, I'm making like, you know, stories and from my Instagram, from my WhatsApp, whatever. And I'm like, you know how much this would cost in Miami to be up here, even just an Airbnb. And I'm like, compared to what I'm paying, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, so I was in awe. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm just bringing you with me through the experience. I told you, get your popcorn ready. We going in today. But anyway, so let me give you more of the relationship stuff. So anyways, I was on cloud 9, as you can tell. She seemed to be on cloud 9 as well. Nothing felt about money. You know what I'm saying? Nothing felt like it was about money. Nothing felt fake. I usually have a fair judge of character. People who know me well can tell you numerous amount of times where I've called things out before it happened, right? So I'm not tooting my own. I'm just saying I usually have a fairly decent judgment of character. And even up to this moment, I still think everything was genuine where we are now, right? At that time. Boom. So we're enjoying the Airbnb. You know, she's cooking for me, teaching me how to dance bachata, merengue, salsa. I'm learning up all these dances, and she's just introducing me to her culture, bro. It's just vibes. It's just vibes, man. All that good stuff. Drinking mama Juana in the Airbnb, going up to the jacuzzi top. We did live streams together. You know, we went live on her thing, on my thing. Her people is, you know, saying what up to me. She's saying what up to my people on video. So all the vibes just felt righteous, right? So, excuse me, that's stretch. So everything was just going great, bro. So all the good stuff, you know. Went to restaurants, did all that good stuff. So towards the end of the trip, right? I think I had it for like 5 days. You know, I took a week off work. So I was like, man, I don't want to go home. And then when I looked at my bank account, I was like, I don't have to go home. There's some real numbers right here. Like, and I'm looking at property, I'm like, man, I'm seeing stuff in Pantini for like 60, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I could just buy one of these right now. Like, I'm I'm going through all those different emotions, right? So eventually, I extended my trip. So I ended up staying like 30 days. No. Was it like 30 days? I think it was like 30 days, maybe like 2 weeks. I said stay like 2 weeks, something like that. I extended it. So when I finally go home, right? I would go home to talk to my boss, to tell him, yo, I gotta do a leave of absence. I don't know when I'm coming back. I got something to handle within my family. So I did a leave of absence. And basically it was one of those, I don't know when I'm coming back, but when I come back, I still want to have my job. So he was cool. I never gave this dude an issue. He was cool with it. Bet. All right. So, so here's what happens. So I went home, check on my family, did all that. And then I got my important stuff from my crib that I was still paying for in Florida. But at the time, I was living with my people, my mom and my bro. But I was still, paying bills and stuff. So I'm paying for my stuff there, right? Keep that in mind. So I go to DR. We end up getting an apartment. Her apartment was giving issues. I couldn't take the heat. I bought an air conditioner because I'm there. I'm like, I'm here now, you know what I'm saying? So we bought an air conditioner, and then she was having issues with the owner. She kept arguing with this dude, and I wasn't used to another man like going back and forth with my lady, and I can't understand what they're saying, because remember, I didn't speak no Spanish at this time. So we got up out of there, and we moved not far in Villa Maya, next to her sister. Like, her sister lived in the next building, right? So I had to co-sign paperwork, her sister co-signed, and we got up in there. So off the strength of her sister, we got in there, and she had me on it. So we moved in. So I'm moved into a new place together, right? Bet. So I'm there. I stayed there. Everything was cool. Everything was cool. We did dates. We was renting cars at the time. I made a lot of mistakes financially, like as far as renting cars. I could have bought a car with all the money I spent on car rentals, but I didn't know if I was gonna be in DR long term, so I just didn't want to buy a car. Even though I was living there, I just didn't want to buy a car. So I used to rent cars here and there. Like if we was gonna go on a little trip, we did little mini trips a lot. Punta Cana, what's the other one? Santiago. We used to go to little lakes in different cities that I don't remember the cities now, because I wasn't a YouTuber, so I wasn't recording everything. But she was taking me all over the place. So I don't even know where I've been. I've been in a lot of these little cities, right? So, all right, boom. So we living, we doing our thing. I did options trading. We tried Airbnb. We were gonna open a little restaurant. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. The building she lived in when I first went there, people were in there paying like $180 a month. I was like counting all the units. It couldn't have been more than 10. It might have been like 10 units, paying like 180. I was like, this thing couldn't have been that expensive. And the owner of the building was a police officer. I didn't speak no Spanish. I told her, ask bro how I could build one, because I'm pretty sure he didn't pay more than like $40K for this, and I'm willing to invest that, because they get the cheap labor done and they just build it. So I'm like, I want one of these. Like, we could live in it, and like, for the longevity of it, this could be like a spot. Like, it could be my little building, and we could live in one unit. Like his unit was plush laid. He had AC, he had generator, he had everything, thing that everyone in the building couldn't afford. Nobody in that building had AC besides him, because he paid for it, right? As he should. So he had a fly apartment, and he built a bunch of the units, and it was doing anything. And he was a police officer in the Dominican Republic. I told her, there's no way this dude could have more money than me like that. I want one, but she's like, oh, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. I don't know him like that. I don't want to. I'm sure he paid way more, probably some $1 million. I'm like, what? I'm like, your rent is like 180. Like, he couldn't have paid more than 50K for this building. It just, the math wouldn't math. So she was like, nah, it's really expensive. I'm sure it is. I'm just like, bro, put me in front of the right people. I want to build one of these. She tried to make some calls here and there. We couldn't get it done. All right, whatever. We tried the Airbnb. Like I said, I tried options trading. I would be up thousands and then I'll be down thousands. That didn't work out. So boom. Fast forward, we're in the new place now. We got the AC. She bought a new stove with her money because she worked. That's another thing. When I met her, she had her own apartment and she worked. And she made more than the average person would make, right? Because she went to college for 4 years. She had a degree and she had her job. To me, it's not a lot of money. I could make in less than a week what she made monthly, but it was a lot of money for her. So she was able to have an apartment. She paid for all, she did her thing. All right. So I say that because she went to college, she did all of that. She was taking care of herself. And then she quit. I allowed her to quit her job. I didn't tell her to, but I was okay with her doing so because it was stressing her out. She was working crazy hours to make what I felt like it wasn't worth the time she was putting in. So I was like, why don't you just quit, man? I'm paying all the bills anyway. You know, go ahead. No, but when she did quit, she was paying stuff. She was still paying rent. She was still doing all that. When she quit, she had her own side business. I said, if you quit and you put all the energy into your side business, I'm like, how much do you make right now? And she told me a figure. I said, and you're doing it part-time. If you did it full-time, you could probably double what you'll make, right? When she quit, her business fell flat. Like, it was during that time when people weren't spending money, people weren't working, people were stuck in the house. So I took on a financial burden. All right, bet. So she got used to that, right? Cool. So now I'm paying everything. We're doing everything. But she's trying her little businesses here and there. I'm trying mine. Cool. But at the same time, you know, we'll go to restaurants here and there. We'll do Airbnbs in different cities because that's all there was to do there in that time. Everything was closed. The resorts were closed. Everything was closed. We went to Colombia. It was like, yo, we heard Colombia was open. Let's go to Colombia. So we went to Colombia during that time. Did a little trip there. Went to Bogota. Went to Medellin. It was cool. It was cool. All right, bet. So now, as time went on, we started having little arguments here and there. Nothing crazy. Little arguments here and there. I'm the type of person, I'm not confrontational, as you guys can see if you see me on live or if you pick that up on my energy. Not confrontational, at least anymore. I'm old enough to say I don't like drama. I'm chilling. I bet. So the little situations we would have, there's certain things that I didn't like if she did, and I would tell her, yo, I don't like this. And she was the type of person, she's always been on her own. She said she'd been living alone since she was 13 and ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? All, you know how I go. The usual. So we butt heads sometimes. But, you know, we'll always be cool at the end of the day. Go to the restaurant, go to the movies, do a little Netflix, cook at the crib, and we'll be fine in a couple hours. We did everything together, which now I would not do, but I'm just telling you the story. I'm just giving you the details. I learned a lot and I would never do none of this stuff right now. I'm just giving you the details. So spent all that time together. We did everything together. The only thing we didn't really do together was, I'm not gonna say that, but we did everything together, right? We'll go grocery shop. There was no real space. Like I didn't have man space. So, you know, if I wanted to go do something, she'll come with me. Especially since I didn't speak Spanish, right? And she didn't want me to end up in that situation. Sometimes, there was a couple of times I went off by myself and I got pulled over, you know, a little situation. I would call her and then she'll fix it and it'll be all good. So I guess that's why she was nervous of me doing things by myself, because I would always like either get pulled over or something else. All right, bet, whatever, cool. Say what you want about it, but that's what it was. All right, as we're going through the years, well, first of all, eventually the money got low enough because there was a certain number that I said, if I hit this number, I'm going back to Florida and I'm going to work. So I hit that number, I hit below that number, and I said, all right, time to go back to work. You feel me? So I had to leave, I had to go back to work. But what I did was, since I was already living there and I was used to it, I started coming every month. So, you know, you're living with a person for a year, like you're gonna be sick. You're like, dang, you know? And then I had all my feelings involved and all that goofy stuff. So I started coming every single month, same time, and I'll come for a whole week. So I was doing a whole week every month after I moved back here. So now I'm working. But now I'm working double now. Now I'm working 2 jobs. Now I'm working my butt off. Because when you see that much money, it does something with your psyche. And I was so like, I fell into like a depression when I blew through a lot of that money. So, you know, I remember the last big chunk of money, I took a chunk and I threw it at one of these like penny stocks. Because one of my homies really believed in it. And I was like, ooh, okay, I bought like 30,000 of them Johns. I was like, all right, this John go to $1, I'm up. Like, I'm gonna be right back up. And I'm out of here. I'm going right back to DR. That thing never hit $1. To this day, man, I still had 30,000 shares. I think I just sold it like last week for like $50. But I was holding it for like 5 years, or like, yeah. Anyways, then I tried to open up a car rental business, which I still have the LLC for that. But so, you know, I bought some used cars. I tried a lot of different things, man. I didn't just sit down. I was trying to get to work. I bought some used cars, trying to make something shake. You know, just regular financial stuff happening. And I was just back to work, man. So I was going there every month. And the distance, it created more arguments. And as we argued more, I learned more about this person. I'm like, oh, okay, you're no different really than the others. You're in a different position in life, but at the end of the day, you're still the same. The way the arguments started getting, I would hear things like, oh, you're acting like you putting me in Ferraris and this and that. Like, yeah, Mind you, I'm paying for this person's entire existence. Like, everything. And this person would have these outbursts when we would argue. So I'm like, what? What'd you just say? Like, really? So I started seeing flashes of that person's personality through the arguments. So, yeah, man. So eventually, it went from visiting once every week. And when we would argue, we would always make up. It was always, but I took notes of how she would deal with, like how her true like feelings would come out. So little red flags here and there I would pick up on. Well, I was already too deep in my feelings, right? It seemed like the less I would visit, the more arguing, the more drama started coming after I moved. I was coming once every month, then I had to dial it back. And we both agreed, all right, maybe let's do a little bit more, less of the visiting and try to stack some more money. So it went from every once a month to every 6 weeks, and then once every 2 months. So it dialed back a bit, and I noticed the arguing would just start getting worse. And we'll argue about petty stuff, nothing serious. It's always like with her, on her end, like, oh, you don't care about my feelings, you don't care about the things that I need. And I'm like, you don't need these things, you want them. That's the difference. I'm more of a necessity guy. What do we need? All right, you need an AC. To me, that's a necessity, you know? But you want to get a car or something, I don't think you need a car because you got my Uber. You could call an Uber to anywhere on the island and you don't work. What do you need a car for? Oh, well, you're spending thousands in rental cars. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but that's the situation now. We should have when I first came, yeah, I should have bought a car, but I'm like, I don't buy a car for a place that I don't know, and I don't know you like that yet. It is what it is. Now I'm not gonna buy a car because I'm stacking money, and you don't need one. You know, I was like, I have a car here. I work 2 jobs. I need a car. you don't work. You don't need a car. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but when I go do my stuff and run my errands and Ubers are canceling, Ubers don't like going to Via Maya and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, listen, I'm not telling you I don't want you to have a car. I'm just saying I don't have the money to get a car right now. So that was a big thing. It was like, yo, she was ready to crash out over this car situation, right? And so I started to pick up on some of the energies. I'm like, it's kind of why I left to go over there for. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So cool. Eventually, she was able to finance a car through her credit. I still ended up paying for it, but she was able to get a car. And she would always throw that in my face during arguments. Oh, you didn't want me to have a car. If it's something about me, you don't care about it. But if it's for you, you'll do it. I'm like, so not true. I just believe it's not necessary. I was gonna marry this chick and bring her to the United States. I don't know if I ever told y'all that. I was gonna marry her. So I was like, when you get here, you can have my car. As long as you take me to work. You can have it. It's yours, it's sitting right here. No, I need to go, I need a car now. You want me to wait and you're selfish and da-da-da. I'm just like, bro, you don't need a car, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I ain't trying to make a whole video about the car situation. I'm just giving you I want to give you guys little examples of the things we would argue about because it was so stupid, it was petty, And I realize now, looking back, it was me. I didn't check all that stuff at the beginning, and I played my cards wrong. I was tripping. I can admit that. I did so much mistakes. You ain't got to tell me. I know. I'm just giving you the facts of my past. Like I said, get your popcorn. But anyways, so cool. She ended up with a car. I was paying for it. It was a little $200 a month. It was nothing. So rent, car, food, I'm paying all that, right? Paying for all that. That's why I'm saying I sent a lot of money, because after living there, already catching the feelings, I make sure my chick is taken care of. And that's something I would do here in the United States or anywhere I am. I gotta make sure my people are taken care of, especially if I have the means to do so. And cool, and we had a plan. But back then the plan was for her to come here. I got a lawyer. We started a process into bringing her here. I was cool with her. I was like, I met her. She was young. I was a lot younger too, obviously. This is 5 years ago. Cool. So anyways, the arguments just kept getting worse, especially with the distance. And I was hella stressed out working like crazy, as I still do. So maybe some of it was out of my frustration, and I felt like, man, I messed off a lot of money on you. Now I'm working like a dog. So I'll man up to say, yeah, I probably could have been taking some of that energy out on her. But at the end of the day, yeah, she was too boss babe vibes. Like that came out way too much. So, boom, here's where it was the end for me. All right. We both gained a lot of weight during the relationship. If I show you old pictures of me and her, we were both significantly slimmer then. Like I was a lot smaller, she was a lot smaller. We gained weight together. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna lose it together. We're gonna go to the gym. I'm like, listen, all you gotta do is go to the gym. You don't have a job, just go to the gym every day. I gotta figure out how to lose my weight, right? Nah, she don't wanna do that, she want a surgery. I'm like, you don't need a surgery. You still look good, you still have a nice body. You just got a little stomach now. You don't need a surgery. Nah, but when I look in the mirror and it's for me, it's not just about you, and I know you say blah, blah, but I can't put on my clothes without crying, and I was so beautiful, and this and that, all the ray, right? So, here's what happened. Video's long enough, I'll speed up. So, she said there was something in her stomach. Doctor said something going on. She asked the doctor, yo, can you do like a lipo while you're removing this thing out of me? It was some medical thing in her stomach. I can't remember the name of it right now. So she comes to me and was like, because it was a big thing. It was a pain in her. She was in pain. all this stuff. She went to the doctor and she said the surgery costs like $2,000 or like $4,000, something like that. I think it was like $2,000, I don't know. I said, man, for your health, I wouldn't, if you didn't need it, I wouldn't spend that money, but you need it, whatever, I'll pay for it. Now, she's like, the doctor said, while he's in there, he could remove the fat out of my stomach. It's just gonna be like an extra $3,000 on top of that. No, I think it was like $4,000. And I think it was gonna come out to like $7,000, the whole surgery. I was like, nah, for your health, I'll find the money. Because you're saying this is something that could eventually end you if you don't nip it in the butt now. To me, that's a medical emergency. That's why I have emergency funds. She's like, you don't care about nothing to do with me, and it's not that I want it, I need it. I can't do nothing. I sit at home because I feel fat and I'm not myself. I don't feel pretty and da 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 da. So, fast forward, because I'll fast forward. I said, you don't need it. And I said, I'm not paying for it because it's not a necessity. She found a way, because of the car that I've been paying on time, her credit got maxed out like really good. So they agreed to pay off her car and give her the title for her car and make the loan a higher loan and include the surgery in the loan. So she got the title for her car and she was approved for the surgery. And she said, what do you think about it? I said, you already know I don't think you need this surgery. She was like, I was like, you do whatever you want to do. You're an adult. I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do. She's like, no, but I want to know what you think. And I have to come to you because I can't pay this, the monthly whatever by myself. I said, yo, if you get a surgery and you default on the loan, what are they going to do? They can't take your body back away. You're going to have your surgery already. The worst case scenario, you got your body and your credit's bad. If it means that much to you, do it. If you end up one day you can't pay it, just don't pay it. They can't take back the surgery. I said, to me, you don't need it. For me. But I'm a firm believer, I don't control nobody in a relationship. Do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do regardless. If I tell you no, if you want to do it, you're going to do it, right? I bet. In my head, I was thinking, if this girl get this surgery, I'm done. I'm done. Because your man is telling you you're beautiful, you don't need it. So if you really want it that bad, you're not getting it to have nothing to do with me. It's something to the outside world. It's something you got going on in your head, right? Because I'm satisfied, I'm happy, I'm cool. So she gets the surgery. I go over there. Y'all probably heard me tell this story on live streams before. So I'm helping her, I'm nursing her. And when I get there, the first thing I notice is her chest was done. I'm like, And she's like on bed rest, she's wilding, like she's in pain, she's got blood coming out of different places. And so I didn't want to say anything to kill the vibe or start an argument. So eventually I'm like, I didn't know you was getting your chest done. She's like, I did tell you that they was gonna do something. I was like, yeah, but I didn't know you were gonna, like, you told me they was just gonna like, just lift one part up or like some little thing. I'm like, you got your whole chest done. Like, and she had a test. She had a nice chest. She had size and everything. I don't want to get too detailed. It wasn't flat. It was just starting to fall a little bit when she started gaining weight. So now she got these big fake joints. Her body looks terribly fake. She looks like a doll. Came out, she looks beautiful. She went from, here to here, right? I mean, she was beautiful in the beginning, but she went to the next level, right? Like, it didn't look that bad. I'm gonna keep it a buck. She looked really good now, but to me, she looked fake. So one thing we always agreed on, she used to always say, man, if I ever got a surgery, even though I'm against surgery, but if I ever got one, I'll just remove a little fat. I don't never want to look like one of these fake girls, like, and that's exactly how she looked, actually worse than what she used to always describe. She used to look at girls with surgery and be like, oh, I can't stand girls. And then she essentially looked exactly that. So I didn't want to go there and cause ruckus because she's on bed rest. So what I said I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chill. Not gonna like make her feel worse. She's crying, she's in terrible pain. I just wanna be here for her. We had one big argument during, like, while she was on the bed, cause like she could see the frustration in my face with some of the things, cause I'm like, why am I doing all this? And I even like, I didn't even agree with the surgery. Like, so I was just so disgusted at how she looked and what I was like, you know, by action supporting. So she spazzed out on me because she could just, I didn't say anything negative to her the whole trip, but she could just see like that I was annoyed. She's like, I can't believe you. I'm here dying, da 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 da, and you're mad and you look like you just don't want to be here. You can't wait to go home, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, I'm trying to be cool, but if you want to take it there, we take it there. You didn't need a surgery. I didn't want you to get one. You're too lazy to go to the gym, yada, yada, yada. So she spazzed out. She couldn't really walk and get up. Like, I was doing everything for her, right? She had friends coming in and out to help as well. She threw something at me. Like, she was urinating in a bucket, right? It was that bad. I used to flush the bucket down the toilet and I was cleaning it. Like, I just put some spray, some soap and some stuff, put water in it, you know, clean it out, dump it into the toilet, yada, yada, yada. So I did clean the bucket, and the bucket was next to her. She threw the bucket at me. Homies, she threw it at me. It didn't hit me. I felt a little water splash on me, and I think it was because I had just cleaned it. Regardless, the level of disrespect I felt. So immediately I was like, man, I'm out, I'm leaving, right? And I never do, like, I'm not the type to storm out, I don't do that. I'm out, it's done. I called her homie. I said, come get your girl. I'm not gonna leave her by herself, she can't move. Come get your girl, I'm leaving. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Listen, her friend is telling me in my text, Ryan, you're a great guy, you don't deserve this. I'm so sorry you came all the way here, you work a lot, I know you're tired to have to deal with this. This is what her friend, not my friend, her friend is telling me that. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's all good. Is there any way you could come here? I want to leave. Because all I'm thinking about is I'm done and my trip is coming to an end. Let me at least see if I could go explore something in DR. Because I wasn't the type to be cheating. So I wasn't like cheating. I wasn't doing all of that, right? So I'm like, I'm here on the island. I might as well go out and do my thing since I'm already here. Because I know I'm done. So what's the point in sitting here with her when I could go and do something that I'm not going to be able to do next week because I'm going to be back at work. So I wanted to leave, genuinely. I'm calling all her friends ain't answering, nobody's coming through. So I'm like, I'm in the living room, like, trying to get up out of there. I'm packing my stuff. I'm like, I'm done. I wasn't going to leave her alone. I'm not that cold of a person. Nobody pulled up. So then she texted me feeling all bad. Oh, but you know, you did this, that, and the third. I said, you threw a bucket at me. You essentially, you assaulted me. You tried to assault me. The only reason I'm gonna let that slide is because I know you're going through a lot right now. Because she's dealing with her depression. She was talking about getting rid of herself, all kind of crazy stuff. So I'm like, you're dealing with a lot. That's the only reason I'm letting that slide. But I'm trying to leave. None of your friends can't pull up. So she was like, oh, can you at least come in the room? I'm just like, bruh, I'm not on this. I'm trying to get up out of here. So I think I had like a day left, right? So I just thugged it for the last day because her friends ain't come through. So I thugged it out. And when I got back, I broke up with her. And then I ended the relationship. After like a month or so, we were cool again. And we realized we can't be together. And that was it. That was the end of the relationship. Cool. I'm a forgiving person. So I forgave her for the BS on the throwing whatever at me. and we just became friends, right? A little bit after the relationship, I helped her for like a month, like, because I used to help out with the bills. So I helped, I was like, I'm gonna help a little bit more, and then I'm gonna leave you on your own, because we ended up friends, right? Excuse me. All right, boom. So by the time I stopped sending her money and I stopped helping, we're still cool. Like, she helped me with stuff. If I'm starting a business, she'll make the logo, she'll design all this stuff, because that was her field. She did all that. She did business management, social media management, all that. So she helped me, I'm not gonna lie, she helped me make my logos. She used to help me with designing. If I needed merch, she would help me do all of that, website, all that. So there was good things that she provided, especially for somebody. I was doing music when I was with her. I really started a vacation time with Ryan well after the relationship, because I already knew she wasn't gonna be into the type of stuff I need to do for the travel content. Anyways, so we're done, but we stayed cool. We stayed friends. So time is going by. Every here and there, I would dip in the DR, and when I'm there, we would link up. We would still link up. Yeah, we hooked up a few times after we broke up, being transparent, but I knew I couldn't get back with her. There was a time she said, yeah, she would get back with me, but I'm like, nah. When I break up with somebody, I don't believe in going back. That's just me. So, cool. So we just kept it a friendship base, but here and there we might mess around. All right, and I stopped sending her bread. Cool. So we're talking a year passes by. A year later, you guys might have heard the little jibber jabber controversy that happened. But time passed by. I'm talking to her less and less. We kind of drifted away, but we were cool. I pull up on her mom. I pull up on her family. I'll still kick it and chill with her mom a little bit, check in on them. Regular family stuff. If I'm in the town, I pull up. Cool. And it was also cool because when they met me, I didn't speak no Spanish, so I was able to talk, finally speak with her mom. It was cool. It's cool. Her mom still texts me to this day. No matter what happened, you're my son. I love you. Her mom literally tells me like, te amo, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. All right, bet. So now I'm detached from her. I'm like, I see she's doing modeling, all this goofy stuff. She's like, oh, look, I modeled for Blue Mall, da da da. I'm like, I'm happy you're doing your thing. I'm happy your true colors can come out now because you're not with me. I'm happy for you. Because when she was with me, she know I would have never dated a model and all that stuff. So she's doing her modeling thing. And I would see some posts that she would make on like Snapchat. And I'm like, she probably taking that like little pro route, because I started seeing her hanging with pros. And I'm like, I know that girl's a pro. I know that girl's a pro. So I'm like, I don't care. Do what you do, right? So then it got to a point where I would ask her for favors, she would ask me for favors. She started asking me to use my CashApp here and there, right? Mind you, we're long, long gone from being together. One time she asked me to use my CashApp. It was like 1 a.m. And I was like, she probably living a pro life. And I was like, whatever, her business. I don't care. All right, bet. So fast forward a little bit, way long after I'm talking a year and a half plus after, she's like, she hears I'm going to Brazil. Y'all see, I'm still posting Brazil content, so this is recent. She's like, oh, can I go with you to Brazil? Because I was thinking about going. I was like, if you buy your own flight, you could stay in my Airbnb. I know that's a terrible idea, because I'm gonna have people probably coming in and out. But because I was friends with her, I said, you know what? You could do it, because I know it's gonna save you some money. So cool, if you wanna share the Airbnb, I'll do that for you as a friend, right? I was like, but just to let you know, I'm gonna be outside, I'm gonna be doing stuff, I'm gonna be making content. So if you wanna be around that vibe, cool. Because she was like, I can't travel by myself. I don't wanna travel by myself. I don't like So, you know, just to have somebody to be with me for the trip. I said, all right, that's fine with me. But I'm just letting you know, basically, I'm gonna be on, you know, I'm gonna be outside. All right, she's like, yeah, that's cool. I just, you know, as long as I got an Airbnb and cool, you know, you can do your thing. I was all right, bet. So that just shows you it's kind of recent. Cause I was planning a Brazil trip probably last year, like October. So yeah, this might have been like 5 months ago, whatever, 6 months ago. So boom, right? Then I was planning to go to Colombia before Brazil, right? So I already locked in my tickets for Colombia trip, going to Cartagena. All right, bet. So one random day, I'm just being transparent because y'all, by this time we found. It's a very long video, like I said, popcorn. So now listen. So one day I seen her post Cartagena, and no, first she posted a flight, like she's getting on a flight. I was like, oh, so you on flights now, right? Because mind you, she never like showed me nothing. Like if I seen something, it was Snapchat, but she had me blocked on Instagram, which I found out. I'm like, I don't even know why you blocked me. I don't care what you do. Like I'm so far detached from you. Anyway, she had me blocked on Instagram, but I guess she was starting to get comfortable because I told her one day, I was like, you know, I don't care what you do, right? I don't care, bro. Like, I'm outside. I don't care what you do. So she posted, she was getting on a flight. And then that one night she posted Cartagena, right? It's so ironic because one of my boys was in Cartagena. Not my boy from here, but someone from the travel space that I was cool with, right? And y'all might have seen the live stream. Whatever, I'm just giving the story to the people. So I remember he was in Cartagena, and I remember I was like, it would be so crazy if they linked up, right? I was just thinking in my head, like, it would be crazy, right? So I get a CashApp. No, yeah. I get a Zelle, because she used to use my Zelle or CashApp here and there. So I get a Zelle, and it's from homie that I know. I noticed because of his name. I'm like, I said, nah, there's no way. Because she sent Cash Apps here and there. So I know she was doing her little pro thing, and I just didn't care, bro. Like, I was so far detached. And the fact that she went and got the surgery and all that, it made too much sense for me. So I didn't care anymore. I was over it. So I'm like, don't tell me this dude, don't tell me he took her down, right? So I text him. I said, yo, you up? It was like 5 a.m. He called me. He was like, yo, what's good? And at first he was trying to play it off like he didn't know what I was talking. He knew what I was talking about. Shout out to him though. I had nothing against him, by the way, because he didn't do anything. Like, he didn't know that was, like, nobody knew how she looked, you know, especially in the travel space. So I was like, bro, you sent me a Zelle. And he was like, all right, let me tell you the story. So he met her on the beach. Then he seen her later in the club. Mind you, this is Cartagena, Colombia. Out of all the girls out there that he could have chose, he chose her, which is just, I'm only saying that to tell you, this is how good she looks with the surgery. This is how good she looks. Out of all the girls out there, you've been to Cartagena, Colombia, you know what I mean? Out of all the girls, he chose her, and she's not even Colombian. That tells you how good she looks, right? So, from the surgery, by the way. Because she didn't look like that when I met her. She looked good, but not like that. So anyways, he told me, seen her in the club, and what made him kind of like gravitate toward her, because she spoke English, you know, she speaks English, which I tell you about that red flag, that English. So, yeah, so he took her to the crib, he took her down, sent me the money, because he was like, oh, I don't have cash. This is crazy how life works, right? Because I would have never knew if he didn't run out of cash. He said, I don't have cash. She was like, oh, you got Zelle? Yeah, you can send this to this Zelle right here. And then he looked at the Zelle. He was like, Ryan? And then her face dropped because they already did what they did. And long story short, she was begging him, please don't tell him, please don't tell him, please don't tell him. And, you know, the whole time he said she was begging the whole time, just don't tell Ryan. I'm like, I don't know why. I'm not her dude. But I guess, you know, she always had this, she didn't want me to look at her as that type of girl. And just for a little more added context, after we broke up, a couple months after, she healed from her surgery, and she was in this Great Depression. She said, she was like, man, I couldn't even never be with you now because I know you wouldn't be with me because she's like, I'm bad now. I'm not the same person. I'm bad. I was like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you're bad? Even though I know what in my head, what I'm assuming. She's like, I just mean like I'm fighting people randomly. I'm fighting in traffic, like fist fighting people. I'm not the same person. I'm dark now. I'm very dark. I'm not the same person you knew. So I'm like, yeah, fighting my butt. I'm like, she probably selling that kitty, right? But I said, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to be with you. Anyways, we're cool as friends. All right, bet. Anyways, fast forward back now. So boom. So he tells me the whole story. So I'm laughing, like I'm dying laughing on the phone. I'm like, I knew it. I knew she was. And he was like, but you knew, right? Because he was like, I mean, I could tell. I was like, she never looked like that. Like she got a surgery. So, you know, we were chopping it up. We chopped it up for like 30 minutes to an hour. You know, to this day, he's still my boy, you know. He didn't know that was her. It was just crazy coincidence, right? Cool, right? So when it comes to her now, she sends me a screenshot of a fake conversation, her texting back and forth to her friend. Her friend saying, hey girl, do you think I could use the Zelle of Ryan? Because, you know, I'm gonna have a client sending me some money. So she sends me that as to show like, hey, my friend is asking to use your Zelle. I'm like, why do you feel the need to lie to me for? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, why are you lying? Like, I know you selling that kitty. Like, why you don't have to lie to me. I'm not your boyfriend. Like, I'm nobody to you at this point. We're just cool. We're cool. You have connections in DR. I hit you up for your connections. If you need something, you need to send me a Cash App, you hit me up. That's kind of our relationship now. And she was like, what are you talking about? My friend really needed to you. And then she sent me the screenshots. I was like, you're so fake. You're so fake. I'm like, I know what you're caught, right? She's still like, what are you talking about? Then she even goes to say, I have a boyfriend. Like, what are you even talking about? I got a boyfriend. I'm like, oh, so you're cheating on your boyfriend? She was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, you want receipts? Because like, you think I don't know what you're doing. Because I'm talking to homie like, I'm like, she's wilding, right? So then when she realized that I knew, she blocked me. She blocked me on everything. I'm like, I find out you're a pro, so now you just block me everywhere. Because she's allergic to accountability. She'll literally blame me as to why she's selling her, you know, why she's doing her thing. That's how allergic she is to accountability. She'll find a way to blame me like, oh, well, I would have never did it if you would have just been a good boyfriend or like something like that. But anyways, man, the reason I'm opening up and telling y'all this is because I don't care what I go through, bro. Everything I go through in life is a lesson. I could laugh, I could smile because I'm so happy that I dodged that bullet. Because can you use your brain and imagine if I would have brought her here and her turning out like that, it would have been really bad. Not for me. It would have been bad for her, believe me. But anyways, yeah, that's the story and that's how that ended. So after a while, she ended up unblocking me, and I guess she was like trying to stunt on me because I had posted on my story one time, like, man, these, like, you know what I'm saying? These joints out here, you know, selling it up for nothing when she didn't have to. She had a good income, she had a good job. She didn't need to. So I know that she was doing that just so she can go on these lavish trips. She's going to Brazil, she's going to Colombia. So she's not like someone that's in dire need of money and just doing what they have to do. No, she loves the little lifestyle with her little fake body and she want to travel and be lit for Instagram. So it's not out of necessity. She's doing it because she wants to live this lifestyle of this person that she's not. And it's something that she can't do on her own and boss up, and she gotta go sell it. So she never had to take that route. So I hope somebody in the world can hear this story and be like, wow, I needed to hear that and learn something from it. I mean, you guys are probably gonna clown in the comments and that's fine with me. Because at the end of the day, you're watching my videos, so you're helping me. Appreciate the help. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm playing with you, but yeah, no, seriously, I hope somebody could hear it. Somebody could be going through a similar situation with their long distance relationships, and it's a horror story that nobody should have to experience. I'm so blessed that I was single while this happened, because it could have happened while I was with her. But the moment, if you rewind, the moment she got that surgery, I broke up with her. To me, there's no reason you needed a surgery. You had a little stomach, and we could have knocked that out in the gym. But she wanted to live that lifestyle. She wanted to be a hot girl. She wanted to have her little hot girl summer. And I almost brought her to the United States. Dodged a wicked bullet, boy. Yeah, man. So think about that, man, before you do your long distance relationships. It could go really wicked. And to add context, when I met her, she's a church girl, always in church. Her energy was just so pure to me and amazing, right? And I lived with her. The thing people always say, oh, you gotta live there. I lived, bro. There's no right or wrong way to do this, man. If you come across a terrible person, and the person is always gonna end up terrible, whether you live there, whether you don't live there, whether you send money, whether you got girls in the States, get girls in the States, all of that don't matter. I've been with girls prettier than her here. I've been with beautiful women here. I wasn't always this size. I'm dropping weight again now. I was slim back then, played football, and I'm only telling you to say that. People are people anywhere in the world. There's good people, there's bad people, anywhere in the world. So be safe out there, my guys. It's your boy, Vacation Time with Ryan, man, giving you the real stories from real trips, real situations. Drop a 100 in the chat. If you made it this far, you really were invested into this story, and I appreciate you, man. For all the haters that's gonna say something negative, so thank you for that. August 31st, we got an event. Hit me up for that. I got dating groups, Dominicans, Colombians. Hit me up for that. It's your boy, Vacation Time with Ryan, man. Peace.